Alrighty, let's see what we've got today. Alright, it's Sunday. So we got some twists. Double the minion pile, double the ruins pile. Death cart has with spoils. So when you gain Death cart, on top of gaining 2 ruins, it also comes with the spoils, which is like a one-shot gold card. And as promised, minions are 20 cards deep, as are the ruins. Okay. Uh, Got nearby and invest for the landscapes. Which card is nearby on? Nearby is on Death Cart. Death Cart's got all the stuff. You buy Death Cart, you get a buy back. Okay. So for draw, there's Wild Hunt, Sea Witch, second or sixth Aristocrat. Minion and Cursed Village can draw up to a certain number. The villages are the first and fifth aristocrats and Cursed Village. No trashing. I mean, Ducat trashes copper, but just replaces it with a Ducat, so it's not making your deck any thinner. So sewage is probably going to be pretty significant then, I would think. And then plus buy the fourth and eighth aristocrat or Ducat. This kingdom's rather awkward. We had some decent thinning. Just playing with a bunch of minions and maybe some cursed villages would look really good. That still might be the correct thing, but it's substantially hampered by the fact that you can't get rid of your 10 starting junk cards. So if you're periodically pitching and redrawing those, you end up with a handful of garbage. Draw to X stuff, especially, really wants you to get rid of the junk. I've got a sneaking suspicion that this is really just play Sea Witch a bunch, and then if the curses break heavily in one direction, then you've probably won the game regardless. I'm not sure what step 2 is after that. Oh, there's Lighthouse. I'm just now noticing Lighthouse. So Lighthouse can block Sea Witch. Hmm. Presumably you still have to get Sea Witches, though, just to force your opponent to take Lighthouses and to punish them if they ever fail to find one. I'm thinking something like turn 1 Lighthouse, turn 2 Invest, exiling Sea Witch. Then if they hit 5, I draw 2 cards. I'm probably hitting 5 myself. If they don't hit 5, I can buy a Sea Witch and then unexile the Sea Witch from the exile map. Yeah, that seems right to me. Not by the... Interesting. I will hit 5 here. So I could discard the original Sea Witch from exile to get 2 into the deck, or I could leave it there, just in case the bot... I mean, not just in case. The bot probably takes a Sea Witch at some point. Uh... I think I'll leave it on the map. The odds they collide are decent, and the upside of guaranteeing that I draw cards if the bot ever takes any is pretty big. Bot's going heavy for the death cards. Let me think about this again. Is there something I'm missing here? Buy a bunch of coppers. Weird stuff is happening over there. I mean, I guess that deck spikes 8 a few times. Spoils can get you up to 8. A death card play can get you up to 8. Your deck is full of junk and doesn't have much longevity to it. Maybe if that's the bot's plan, I should aim to play a bunch of wild hunts. Just because it's an alternative source of victory points. A junk heavy deck can't really contest it. If it takes like 5 or 6 provinces early and then the deck fizzles out, I have time to catch up on wild hunt points. The problem with wild hunt is like you need a village to play a bunch of them. One aristocrat will do something in that regard. But otherwise, you gotta play with a bunch of cursed villages, which cursed village plus wild hunt is kind of an awkward synergy. Maybe that's correct. Hmm. I also need to get plus buy at some point. Should probably be a ducat or two. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a Crest Village here. Locust is kind of annoying. Drawing a Crest Village dead is also kind of annoying. I'll take Wild Hunt now. Yeah, I think Wild Hunt next. It buys a Duchy. The Duchy buy suggests it's planted a 3 pile on something. Maybe Deathcart Ruins and Duchy. The Ruin pile is 20 deep, but if you buy 10 Death Carts, that empties the Ruins naturally. So can it buy 10 Death Carts and 8 Duchies? I don't know that that's a big threat. An estate? What do you... Bought an estate. You could buy a lighthouse for 2. Cursing you every turn here. I'll take my plus buy now. I would have bought a 5 here if I could afford it. And this is more what I was expecting. Is a deck that just takes a bunch of early provinces and tries to hang on. Take another Crest Village. My deck is admittedly not that functional. Wild Hunt. Should probably add at least 1 aristocrat at some point, maybe 2. The upside of having 2, I really only want the first aristocrat effect all that badly. But adding a second one just means that I'm likely to find at least one of them. Whereas if you have just the one in your bottom deck, that can go badly. There's just no incentive to take these points as long as the bot doesn't have a Wild Hunt in its deck. Even if it does have a Wild Hunt, it's got a 47 card deck, so it wouldn't find it anytime soon. Not really in a rush. Lowering estates, gotta watch out for that pile.
Hmm. Hmm.
I need some more money, probably. I guess I have an excess of action, so duplicate can do the trick. Get me additional Wild Hunts per turn. Do a duplicate and a lighthouse. Lighthouse is basically a silver, but it's a silver that plays nicely with Crest Village because you can play it first and then draw with Crest Village.
Hmm.
I don't even need it for the attack blocking element so much. Oh, this is a little bit of a dud. I mean, I'll live, but slightly sad. The bot is at 17 points. Curses are low. I'm lower than the curses myself. Estates are fairly low. The bot still has to get 5 death cards. It can get death cards 2 at a time if it hits 8, because death card has that nearby trait on it. Otherwise, still looks like it's a few turns away at a minimum. And I've only got 2 points, but I'm sitting on an extra 7 points already from the Wild Hunts that I can just take whenever I need.
Hmm. Hmm.
Need some more cursed villages now, I think. That's funny. I had no 4s left in my deck. The sifting effect to Sea Witch is honestly
Hmm.
also pretty nice here, just for reducing the chance of dudding. I say as I'm in the process of dudding. Tragic.
Hmm.
So I was initially worried that the big threat from the bots deck was going to be that it was going to empty provinces too fast. Uh, Apparently that was not a reasonable concern. The main advantage of Wild Hunts in my mind was scoring points without having to lower any of the relevant piles. If it's going for estates and stuff, I could have just gone for provinces. This might be the best thing anyway. Uh, oh, you know what? I might have to take these points now. A little low on actions. You have to successfully gain an estate to take the Wild Hunt points. The bot takes all the estates. I can't actually take the points from the Wild Hunt. Is it possible at all for the bot to do 3 estates in one turn? I think no. I mean, maybe it has a ruined market. It does have one ducat somewhere and it's like 50 something cards. It probably can't do 3 estates in one turn, right? I think I can hold off one more turn and be fine. Not 100% sure of that. Misery hurts a little bit. And my last 3 money, I'll buy one more aristocrat. Maybe 2 more. Do I need plus buy at all? Probably not. I don't think I need more buys. Yeah, this turn I should definitely get uh what do you call it? Estates.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Do I have a win? I think the answer is no. Well, what about the death card pile? This is 1 coin short. So I have to buy 4 death cards, and I could duplicate 1 death card. That would cost me 16. Plus buying the last estate, 18, and I don't need to buy a duchy to take the points lead. So 23, and I have 22 money. I think I actually missed a win here, right? Yeah, I think this was. I don't think it's gonna matter, but this was a minor error. This penultimate Wild Hunt. If instead of drawing the last copper with the Wild Hunt, I just drawn the last copper with the Aristocrat, which was gonna draw anyway, I could have played both of the last 2 Wild Hunts to gain estates. Then I could have piled death cards. Oh wait! Hold your horses. This is still a win. I don't need to take that estate. Piling death cards also piles ruins, right? So 4 death cards, duplicated death card, my duchy will be a win. And that would cost me 21. Yeah, there we go. So many on-game triggers to resolve. Yeah, so ruins are empty, death card's empty, curse is empty, and buy a duchy. Okay, yeah, I don't think I believe in whatever this was. This deck is absolutely filled to the brim with garbage. Maybe hits province a few times, but with like 10 curses coming in, plus all the ruins, you're not finding those death cards with any consistency. You have no ability to really do anything about, the stack of wild hunt points accumulating. Even if it added a lighthouse, you wouldn't be able to play the lighthouses consistently. I don't like the death card plan. Uh, I'm not convinced that like a million cursed villages and wild hunts is the correct thing to do in the average case. I think probably both sides ought to be taking sea witches and lighthouses early. That seems pretty significant. I'm not really sure where it goes from there. I could definitely see minion potentially playing a role. And yeah, like maybe in a world where you're both building an engine, you have a wild hunt or two in the deck. Like if your opponent takes a bunch of wild hunts, you can always add one. And then the wild hunt stack becomes a lot more awkward when you have to gain that estate every single turn because you can't afford to leave the points on the pile to accumulate. And then Wild Hunt looks a lot less desirable. So maybe it's like early Sea Witches into Minion Curse Village Lighthouse Aristocrat and a little bit more in the way of draw to X. That deck could have some duplicates in it. Versus the deck that had just zero control, I think Wild Hunt looked a lot more appealing.